Hey everybody, Storytime with Brian. As you guys know, my family and I are moving into a camper, and we're going to live in this camper until our next home is ready. Our house is still in the process of selling. My father-in-law and I are setting up the camper, and we're going through it and fixing the things that we find that need to be fixed, and just going through and inspecting everything, right? So we noticed that the propane tanks were empty. So we take them, we get them filled, and when we get back, we hook it up, and the hoses that connect from the propane tank to the regulator, they're leaking. So we took the hoses off, took them down to our local hardware store, and took the hose with us, and so we can match it up. And we couldn't find the right piece, the right hose. We could find hoses just like the one we had, but the fitting that goes to the regulator is the wrong fitting. You know, we found adapters and everything, but we just could not find the right fitting that fits. So we went to a next town over to another hardware store, and same story there. Didn't have the right hose or the right fittings. Couldn't get it in, or that they ordered it was going to be a while. Didn't know anybody that had it, so we went to the next town over, another place we had in mind, and same story there as the previous two places. Getting pretty aggravating at this point, right? You know, 3 stores already. These are big box stores. We thought they would have it in. We went to a 4th one. Well, this one is a locally owned and operated place. We get there, somebody told us that they could possibly make it for us. So we went over there and checked with them, and they could make the hose, but they didn't have the fitting either, the right fitting for the regulator side. The lady behind the counter, she gets on the phone and starts making phone calls, thinking she might be able to know somebody that could help us with that. So she finds this place 5 miles down the road, and he said that he had them in stock, exactly what we needed. You know, already made, packaged up, ready to go. Already had them in stock. So great, you know. So we thank her for it, and we drive down there, and sure enough, he did. And not only that, but he also discounted them for us. 2 of them, you know, and we had to have them that day, knowing that we had to have them. He still discounted them for us, and so you know we were shocked by that. And we get to talking, and well, he knows me through B&C Bargains. He didn't know me personally, but he recognized, you know, through the store and everything. And his family's been to our store and shopped in our store, and you know, pretty excited about it. You know, small world. We get to talking and everything. And yeah, so here's my point. So the first 3 places we went to are big box stores. You know, we get in there, they didn't have what we needed. You know, they couldn't get it in, or they had to order it and we had to wait for it. We had to have it that day. And you know, and that was it. You know, that as far as they could help us. When we get to this 4th place, which is a locally owned and operated store, not only did they not have it in, but they were willing to get on the phone and call around and find somebody that could help us, which happened to be a RV repair place 5 miles down the road. She calls him, and he had it in stock. We get there, and not only did he have it in stock, but he knew that we were going to buy it. You know, we had to have it, and he still discounted it for us. Another locally owned and operated business. And he still did, before we talked about, you know, who I was, you know, where we're, you know, before he realized that he knew who we were, you know, he still discounted it for us. And so that's my point here. That's the whole point of this story. You know, support your locally owned and operated businesses, because they will go above and beyond for you. That 4th hardware store that I went to, she didn't have to do that. You know, they didn't have to get on the phone and call around and, you know, waste their own time to help us, to send us somewhere else, to spend our money somewhere else, you know, knowing that they didn't have a sale from us, and still send us somewhere else. I mean, but they went above and beyond. And the reason behind that is because there's a chance I'm going to remember them if I need anything, you know, that they deal with, which is auto parts and alike type stuff. You know, they do more than just auto parts, but I'm going to remember them, and I'm probably going to use them. Now, I've got the business card right here to the RV repair place. So I like to give them a shout out and tell them thank you for what you all did. You know, they helped us out in the bind. We had to have that right then and there. and still gave us a discount. We paid half the price for these hoses, and he didn't have to do that. He could have charged us full price, and we would have paid it because we needed them. You know, the other place is called the Auto Parts Store over in Vonore. I'd like to give them a shout out too and thank them for what they did. And I want you guys to remember your locally owned and operated businesses, because they're going to go above and beyond. They realize that they might not get your sale right then, but they're going to show you some outstanding customer service so that you will remember them when you do need them and when they do have something for you. That's the difference. That's the difference between supporting your locally owned and operated businesses and the big box stores. They don't need you. You know, they're not going to remember you. You know, they see 1,000 of you each and every day. And I'm not saying that they're not great. I mean, but when you can, support your locally owned and operated businesses, and go by, if you got an RV or a camper or anything, go by and see my guy over here at 411 Express over in Madisonville. He will do you right. All right. And I just hope that our customers feel the same way about us, and that we're doing the same thing for our customers. And I just want to thank our customers for your support. And yeah, and if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. And we're very grateful for you guys. Thank you guys, and hope to see you soon.